Hello everyone. So in this presentation we'll explore production in the shorthand as a crucial concept in economics. So we can define the shorthand as a period where at least one input is fixed while other inputs are variable. So this means that shorthand production involves two types of inputs. First we have fixed inputs that cannot be changed in the short run, like the capital, for example. And we have the variable inputs. Those inputs can be adjusted in the short run as the firm change its output. As an example, we have labor, raw materials, and energy. So let's consider labor as the variable input. So as the firm increases the amount of labor employed, its output will change. And to understand this relationship, we will introduce three key concepts. First, the total product. So the total product is simply the total quantity of outputs that a firm can produce with a given amount of inputs. Then we have, for example, the if you have two labor and one machine, you can produce three tables. For example, if you have a wood workshop, these three tables is the total output. Then we have the uh, APL, average product of labor. This APL tells us how much on average each worker is producing. In other words, APL represents the output per worker, per each, in average each worker how much is producing, and we can calculate it using this formula. So APL is equals total product over the labor, the number of worker. Then we have the third concept, which is MPL, Marginal Product of Labor, and this MPL indicates the additional output produced by each additional worker. For example, if you add one more worker, how much total product, how much output you will get, so that the total product will increase by this amount. MPL can be calculated as the change of total product over the change in labor, or if you have a function, you can use this formula. MPL equals the derivative of total product with respect to the labor. So now let's illustrate this with an example. Now imagine that you have a workshop equipped with one machine. You have one machine and it is fixed in the short run. You cannot change the number of machines in the short run. And then the workshop can vary its output by changing the number of workers it employs. Here the labor, and here the total product. For example, if a workshop employs two workers, the total product here is 8, which means your two workers plus the machine can produce 8 units of output. Now if you add two more workers, let's say you have now 4 workers with only one machine, you can produce a total product of 40. And we will use the same example to calculate and understand the concepts of MPL and APL. So let's start with the MPL, which is, as we said before, it tells us how much additional output we get from adding one more worker. For example, here, if you have two workers, here we have two workers. We know that this allows the workshop to produce 8 units, which means the total product here is 8 units. But if you hire one more worker, which means now instead of 2 workers you have 3 workers, the total product here will be 12 instead of 8, which means you your total product rises by 4 units. These 4 units represent actually the marginal product, which means the additional worker helped the workshop to raises his total product by 4 units. So here the marginal product is 4. Now let's say the workshop hire one more worker from 3 to 4. The total product here rises from 12 to 14, which means the marginal product is 2. The new worker could help the workshop to rise its total product by 2 units from 12 to 14, and we can find a marginal MPL, marginal product of labor, using this formula. The change in total product, which means 14 minus 12, over the change in labor, which means 4 minus 3, and this equals 2. So we can do the same in this way. We can calculate the MPL for each additional worker here and so on. And as you can see here, MPL rises in the beginning initially, and then achieve a maximum, then start decreasing, achieving 0, and then negative. And we will see there's a different stage later. Now let's look at APL, which measures the average output produced by each worker, and we calculate APL here. By dividing the total product by the number of workers by labor. So, for example, here when you have 4 workers and you produced, we know that when the workshop has 4 workers, the workshop produces 14 units, which means in average the workshop produces 14 over 4, which is 3.5. When the workshop has 6 workers, the total product is 12, which means in average each worker can produce 2 units. And as you can see, like MPL, APL increases, then reach maximum, then start decreasing. Now, by analyzing the relationship between APL and MPL, we can distinguish 3 different stages of production and 2 critical points. Let's start with the first stage. The first stage starts from the beginning of production until MPL equals APL, which means here in the first stage MPL is greater than APL from the beginning until MPL equals APL. Here we do not include this because it's the beginning, but here we see MPL equals 5 is greater than APL, which equals 4. In this stage where MPL is greater than APL, we see that the additional worker adds more than the average, which makes the average increasing. And increasing average means that the total product is increasing at increasing rate. Then we have the second stage here, when MPL is less than APL and MPL is positive. So here, for example, we have MPL is 2 and APL is 3.5, which means MPL here is less than APL. Here, the additional worker is less than the average, which means this pull down the average, and pulling down the average means the TP is still increasing, but at this stage it is increasing in a decreasing way when you add less than the average. Okay, so here the second stage, here is the first stage. Then we have the third stage here when MPL is negative. So when MPL is negative, here for example -2, simply when you add a negative number to the total here, total product, it means the total product will decrease. So at this stage the total product decreases. Then we have two critical points. The first one is this. The first one is this. When MPL equals APL, here at this point APL achieve or reaches its maximum. So before it starts decreasing, APL equals MPL, because in the beginning APL is less than MPL. Here it is increasing. Then when MPL equals APL, here it is its maximum, then it will start decreasing. So this is actually, this point represents the transition point from stage 1 to stage 2. So here we have stage 1, we have stage 2. This is the transition. Okay. Then we have another critical point, which is MPL equals APL. Here, when MPL equals 0, it means it adds nothing to the total product. So if your total product is 40, adding additional worker will add 0 output, which means it keeps your total product the same. Okay, so it means you achieve the maximum TP that you can produce. And this one, as mentioned here, TP is maximum. It is actually the transition point between the second stage to the third stage. And we can notice something here. As we said, here in first stage TP is increasing at decreasing rate. In second stage it is increasing but at a decreasing rate, and here it is decreasing. In stage 3 TP is decreasing. So in stage 1 and stage 2, in both stages TP is increasing. As MPL is greater than 0, it is positive. Here TP is increasing. And we can visualize there's different stages on this graph. So here we have first TP in the blue curve. Okay, the blue curve, here it is TP in the first stage from 0 to 3 worker. This is the first stage, and the first stage ends when MPL intersect with APL. And here, as we can see, the first stage TP is increasing at an increasing rate. And then after that, from in the second stage, you can see that TP is still increasing but at a decreasing way, and until the third stage. Third stage happens when here, when MPL is 0 here. So when MPL is 0, TP start decreasing. So this is all about MPL and MPL and TP in the short run. I hope this video is informative and useful, and I wish you good luck.